This is CES MMA.
Welcome back to Foxwoods Resort Casino. It's time for our co-feature.
Can I come out from under the table?
I think everything's okay.
I'm back.
As long as you are no longer inciting riots in the crowd. We are now in the, dare I say, middleweight division at 185 pounds. I lost my train of thought for a second.
I've enjoyed every fight tonight. I'm really looking forward to this one.
This one's going to be big. It's HARLEY BEEKMAN right now. You're taking a look at him outside the cage, coming in from Amsterdam, New York. Trains out of Bomb Squad. He's 4-2 with 2 knockouts. Actually started his career 2-0. He has fought twice for CES MMA and has lost both fights. One of them in convincing fashion to Brendan Ward. You and I both remember that fight distinctly.
You know, the funny part, what I thought I took away from that fight was every single time Brendan threw him down. And Brendan, again, Brendan really just crushed his wrestling. Lots of throws, but he never could keep him down. HARLEY kept jumping right back up. And it said a lot that his defense, his ability to cause scrambles he was just superior that night. Brendan was, and he's not. You're talking about an all-American wrestler. So you fight one level down, I don't know if he gets thrown around like that.
You're right. We had never seen HARLEY BEEKMAN tossed around like that at any point in his career. And it's certainly no knock to be tossed around by someone like Brendan Ward when you see what he's done at the Bellator level, winning the tournament, bringing home the 100 grand. Obviously, a more than worthwhile opponent. BEEKMAN came back to fight Keith Jeffrey later on and lost that bout by submission. Again, Keith Jeffrey, one of the best on the ground in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, so Keith's a stud. When you're not only just straight jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu for MMA. He's just excellent at it.
For what it's worth, HARLEY BEEKMAN has taken on the best of the best in this region. You may not get 2 better fighters in that weight class than Brendan Ward and Keith Jeffrey.
You're 100% correct, and the Bomb Squad is a A+ school. You know, that you can look who's reaching in the cage right now. That's Matt Lee. Matt Lee's been around since Bodog. I'm an old training partner of mine and a phenomenal coach.
Now you want to talk about tough tests, a future Bellator champion. How about a former UFC fighter in Tom the Tank EGAN, who's about to make his way to the cage?
Another training partner of mine. Tommy's excellent. Fights out of Peter Welch's. Does a lot of stand-up out of Peter's. We've seen him at our last CES fight. Again, come in with a big win.
That stand-up, you see it, that Peter Welch boxing tutelage evident in his record. He's 7-3 with 5 big knockouts, so the ability to strike and stop his opponent, it is certainly there for Tom EGAN. Now, he fought back in 2009 in Ireland when the UFC went overseas.
Yes, he did.
And if you remember, he discussed it afterward. He said it was kind of an overwhelming experience. He was brought in as kind of the poster boy for that card, and maybe he wasn't 100% ready for it mentally. He got knocked out in the opening round, but since then he's won his last 2 fights.
It's really hard to, unless you've been there before, your first fight in the UFC. Now, how about your first fight in the UFC in Ireland, in your own backyard? I can't imagine. You have veteran fighters that go back to their hometown and freeze up. So it was a big deal.
Certainly a lot of pressure put on him. And this, keep in mind, was 4 years ago. Tom EGAN's only 25. He was 21 at the time.
Tommy took a little time off, went back, started training again. He trains with Chuck O'Neill. He trains out of Broadway BJJ. He's, I think he's still an instructor over at Peter Welch's. He's an all-around excellent person. I know Tommy very well, and he's a devastating fighter. Now, matched up against HARLEY, outstanding bout tonight. Outstanding.
This one's certainly worthy of co-feature status. Tom EGAN making his way inside the cage, again fighting out of Dorchester, Mass. Here is the tail of the tape. EGAN 7-3 with 5 knockouts. He came in at 181 yesterday. HARLEY BEEKMAN 4-2 with 2 knockouts. He weighed 184, fighting out of Amsterdam, New York. Let's send it down to cage announcer Rick Provost for the official introduction.
This fight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. The official judge in the cage is Todd Anderson. Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 184 pounds with a professional record of 4 wins and 2 losses, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout and 1 submission. Representing Bomb Squad out of Amsterdam, New York, please welcome HARLEY Darkheart BEEKMAN. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, This UFC veteran weighs in at 181 pounds with a professional record of 7 wins and 3 losses, with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Representing Team EGAN out of Dorchester, Massachusetts, by way of Dublin, Ireland, please welcome Thomas the Tank EGAN. EGAN. 3 rounds, middleweights.
Here we go, our middleweight co-feature, Tom Egan in the red and black trunks, Harley Beekman in the gray. Both fighters looking like they're ready to explode out of the corner.
Yeah, this ought to be interesting.
Egan, as we mentioned, fought for the UFC in 2009 in Ireland. Harley Beekman looking to get back on the winning track after losing his last 2 bouts, albeit against tremendous competition. Of course, at the end of the day, I'm sure it's no consolation to him whatsoever. He wants to get back in there and get a big W, and this would be a huge one coming to Foxwoods and beating Tom Egan. We'll see how it unfolds. 4.5 to go in round number 1. This one just underway.
Tommy's on a 2 or 3 fight win streak right now, if I'm correct. He's also looking to make a run. You know, Tommy's decided, okay, I went back to the drawing board. I've put my time in. He's in a good place. Newly married now and just ready to work and wants to see what he can do with MMA. Tommy reaches in for that single leg takedown and gets it. Harley looking to, Tommy secures that side control quickly. Knee on belly he's looking for. Harley's doing a good job of trying to walk himself off the fence.
Yeah, great single leg takedown by Egan. He almost tossed Beekman.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, didn't it? Harley did a nice job of getting back up, and that's what we were saying earlier. Harley was getting back up off Brennan Wood. You know, it's going to take a hell of a lot to keep him down.
Yeah, when he fought Brennan Ward, he had a lot of opportunities, unfortunately, for him to get his way back up off the canvas.
Well, you see Tommy's fighting in the southpaw stance right now. Little switch kick, he faked going down and went up top with that. Short knee by Beekman. Tommy really hasn't let his hands go. Neither fighter's thrown a breathtaking combination net yet. Still feeling each other out. Not even 2 minutes into the first round.
Beekman just missing upstairs.
Nice knee to the body that was protected well by Egan. You see Egan with the short left uppercut. Excuse me, short right uppercut when Harley went to jump in for this takedown. And again, look at that. Tommy shoots right back up. Both fighters won't be kept down.
Yeah, Beekman kind of left his face exposed when he went in for that takedown.
He did.
And Egan wisely went with the uppercuts, but Beekman did get that takedown. Egan pops his way back up to the canvas, very similar to the way Beekman got his way back up off the canvas earlier on in this opening round. Halfway through, we got 2.5 to go.
That was a nice knee by Harley to the belly. Tommy Egan doing his best to get off the cage right now. He's got an underhook, and he's working to control the other arm. If you notice it, he's pinching it. When he's not punching, he's pinching inside. Harley's throwing those short knees into the lower body and the legs. Still looking for that single. And he gets it. Tommy shoots right back up and gave up his back partially. And now he's out. Great job by both fighters. You can see Harley attacked the back. Tommy not quite give it to him.
Can that sometimes be a moment of vulnerability when that fighter's popping back up?
In transition. Anything can happen in transition. Great takedown by Tommy. Harley bounces right back up. That's when you're most vulnerable. The same in striking. I'm most wide open. I'm most susceptible to get hit when I'm hitting somebody else. So when you're in transition, that's when you leave yourself the most exposed.
A lot of takedowns, but neither fighter's spending a lot of time on the canvas. Everybody getting right back up to their feet.
Yeah, to each other's credit, they both fended this off very well. Again, there goes Tommy looking for the single. He scoops it up, and he's going to look to the trip. He's going to look for it, and he just kind of dish-ragged him there. Nice combination by Harley there. Got a minute left in this round. It's been pretty action-packed. The feeling out process, I don't think ever quite happened.
I agree, and if anything, the fact that it's so you've never seen either fighter get an edge is the fact that it's so evenly matched. Very back and forth. Each fighter has had his moment.
Straight right hand by Harley, landed but not flush. Nice straight left hand by Tommy. Very heavy kick by Harley. Harley did a great job of switching levels to hit that takedown. 20 seconds left in the round. Be good to score a takedown here. And no, he got it, but didn't come easy.
Wasn't quite as fluid as we've seen some of the other takedowns. Egan did a good job of stuffing it with that right leg before he eventually went down.
Making Harley work extra for it. Not much going on here. We got Tommy in a closed guard, and Harley can't even quite slip his hands free yet.
That'll do it for round number 1. A very back and forth round, Scott, as we thought it would be. We figured this fight was going to be close, and we've seen it already within the first 5 minutes. Tell you what, it seems like that round took a lot out of both guys. Not to the point where they're fatigued and completely gassed, but it definitely shows. They're in great shape. I'll tell you what, that was an exhausting round on many levels. So many takedowns, fighters popping back up on their feet.
Yep, and you can see Matt Lee in Harley's corner. First thing he told him to do is breathe. 3, 4 deep breaths, relax, take your time, you're good, no injuries. You know you're in a tough fight. Move on from here.
If that's any indication of how it's going to go, these guys may be completely exhausted by the 3rd round if it gets that far. And again, it's so evenly matched. It's been back and forth thus far.
Yeah, CES has got a pretty good matchmaker.
Yeah, he's not too bad, that Patrick Sullivan. Does a great job of making evenly matched fights, and this one's no exception, worthy of being the co-feature. Tom Egan again in the red and black trunks. Harley Beekman in the gray. Just about ready to get round number 2 underway. Tough round to score. We've said so many times, it seems like a common refrain, but that one really was tough to score.
It depends on, one of the saving graces that we have, you and I watching and calling the fights, is we're not trying to score the fight.
Right.
We're looking at an overall round, how it finished, and maybe giving an overall opinion. We're not taking notes on 2 takedowns to 1 takedown and, transitions, but, whichever way you scored that, anything, 10-9 either direction, I wouldn't complain.
From where we sit, it's basically the eyeball test.
Yeah.
Without really getting into statistics, just judge it how you see it. And I saw
it's the way they used to judge it in, the old Pride days, judge it per round. Nice lead in, uppercut. Ty Plum with the takedown by Harley. Really pressuring Tommy Egan right here.
Nice job by Beekman, just working inside, getting the takedown.
Tommy doing a good job of trying to keep him off.
It's interesting, after that uppercut, it seemed like Egan
Nice sweep by Egan. There's a very seldom used sweep. Excellent, excellent job by Tommy Egan. Now those punches looked like they landed, but they were blocked. Tommy very much waiting to almost counter punch, sneak something in and counter punch. And Harley's looking a little concerned, like, what do I got to do here? Takedowns aren't working that great. Now he's starting to get picked apart by Egan with that lead uppercut. Nice slip. Great kick, but well defended. Harley shoots in for a single. Tommy's doing a good job of fending it off. Looks like Harley's going to get him up. He does. He gets him right down. Tommy does try to get transition to side control.
That's a big slam by Beekman. Probably the best takedown of the night on either side. We approach the 2-minute mark of round number 2.
But Tommy wants to look for head and wrist control here and then try to work to get up.
Beekman with a great opportunity here and a lot of time to exert his will and maybe try to swing this round in his favor.
But if you look, Tommy's doing a great job of wrist control. Something very simple, controlling both wrists. not allowing Harley to posture up to throw punches. This is where Harley should be looking to fold down elbows. In other words, let him hold my wrist. There's that same sweep by EGAN to get back up. He's going to warn him for holding the fence.
Great job by EGAN, though, in the interim, Scott. Again, with that sweep. That's a game changer.
It's a very seldom used sweep, but it's very, very efficient. Nice slip. You can see the boxing and Tommy waiting, anticipating. Now Tommy's back to orthodox stance. Now you're going to see your little power count.
Nice left-right combo. BEEKMAN slipping a bit, landing upstairs, ends up on his backside.
Nice right hand by both fighters. That one kind of rocked Harley. Tommy looking at coming in again. I think the first guy to put a combination together is going to do the most damage. Both fighters are kind of pot-shotting at the moment. Nice short right hand by Harley again. I'd like to see Tommy put a combination together right here, just one time. 3-4 punches. First guy to do that's going to really turn the tides.
BEEKMAN seemed like he tried to do it last time out. EGAN slipped a couple.
He did, and that's the hardest part. Nice short inside uppercut by Tommy EGAN, and nice dirty boxing by Harley. This is just a very evenly matched fight. There's a minute left in this round. I still can't score anything but even.
It's been almost as close as round number 1, just like we expected it would be in this middleweight co-feature.
I'd be leaning towards Tommy EGAN thus far. He's been advancing the most. Hasn't eaten very many flush punches. Good defense. But I gotta tell you, Harley keeps hitting those takedowns. It's a great fight. 40 seconds left. Harley pins him against the cage, looking for a late round takedown.
I'll tell you what, EGAN's defense is very subtle, but it's effective. He just keeps that arm up. No sign of panic whatsoever when BEEKMAN's trying to land. And what it looks like it may be effective really isn't because of EGAN's defense.
Right.
He's looked very sharp thus far in this second round. 20 seconds to go.
Nice job by the referee. Not much going on. Time to break him.
And it gives them that last 15 seconds to maybe let their hands go too. Now do it, another close round in this co-feature, Scott. It could go either way. Harley, BEEKMAN, Tom EGAN, it's been as entertaining as promised.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
EGAN doing a nice job in his stand-up, utilizing the boxing lessons he's learned with Peter Welch, who you spoke highly of in that previous bout. And of course, Harley BEEKMAN trying to get those takedowns. He had one real big scoop slam in the second round.
Right.
Whether or not that makes a difference on the scorecard remains to be seen if we do get that far.
Trying to listen in here in Tommy EGAN's corner.
I think your point midway through round 2 was a good one. Whoever starts letting their hands go and throwing some combinations is going to get the upper hand. And maybe not even on the scorecard. It could just turn the tide of the fight completely.
I agree.
It's not necessarily trying to outpoint somebody, but trying to swing momentum in your favor, and you never know what's going to happen once you do it.
I agree 100%.
One punch in this sport can change the entire storyline of any fight. And here we go in round number 3. Anybody needs to do something here to swing the momentum in their favor. We'll see who gets the upper hand. Once again, EGAN in the red and black, Harley BEEKMAN in the gray. Evenly matched bout through 2 rounds. BEEKMAN trying to get that takedown early. Nice short right.
Nice knee to the face that landed.
That was a good
Harley
one.
really got his knee up. Tommy's going for a right again. And he kind of drops him there, and now he's going to stay on top and punish.
Another big takedown for Harley BEEKMAN. This one coming earlier in round number 3.
Harley's going to look to try to pass and get into side control.
There's that wrist control you spoke of from Tom EGAN in round number 2.
He'll control at least one wrist and try to control 2. But you'll see Tommy's knee. Tommy's knee's on the inside there. He's going to try to push off on that knee and create some space. That's what needs to happen here. Right now, Harley's he's trying to posture to punch. I would like to see him throw down some elbows. That's where, when your wrists are being controlled, you can't move your hands. You drop your elbow down. But again, Tommy's really making life miserable down there for him.
BEEKMAN cannot get his hands free.
No, but unfortunately, I mean, if you're Tom Egan, you're not doing very well.
Right.
You're on your back, not taking much punishment, but here comes that same sweep he's looking for. You're not winning the fight on your back.
Understood. He's not in a position where he can do anything to score points, win the fight, let his hands go.
Well, if he was threatening some submissions, but he's fighting from a closed guard, looking to try to sweep and get up.
You hear them screaming for elbows
Absolutely.
in Beekman's corner. Like you pointed out, Scott, if you have a fighter with such great wrist control, you got to try to drive that elbow in.
Fold that elbow over.
Of course,
Tommy's doing
easier,
a great job.
right, easier said than done, of course.
Tommy's doing a great job trapping both. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they get stood up.
I'm actually surprised it's been this long, but Beekman's remaining somewhat active.
Oh, no. I mean, I wouldn't have been, I'm not saying stand them up. I think he's been doing the work, but I wouldn't have been surprised. Tommy was taking such, great control of the wrist, closed guard, really not a whole bunch going on. Now Harley's a bit more active. Tommy's forced to keep those knees moving, keep his hips flexed out, trying to look for a scramble or a submission.
And again, this falls under the easier said than done category, but would side control be more effective with somebody trying to grab your wrist like that?
Right now, to be honest with you, if you're getting your wrist grabbed, if you can't fold down those elbows, I would try to posture up. I'd try to make myself long without standing. Right now, Harley stood up. Every time you see how Harley's trying to pass, but Tommy's done very well with those sweeps whenever Harley stood up.
Egan's incredibly comfortable on his back, but again, he's not winning the fight from this position, and that's
now,
the problem.
Half the reason you're not scoring points with him on your back is he's an excellent striker. And I'm of the mind, and I really believe strikers defend strikes very well, no whether they're standing or on their back. These guys, if you're a very good striker and you're on your back, you'll parry those punches as opposed to take them.
A couple of those right hands are starting to get through, not enough to sustain any real damage.
But, Harley's definitely winning and controlling this round right now. And in a fight that's very, very close, I mean, maybe the first 2 rounds are split. This is tough.
You could end up pointing to that big takedown early in the round as being the turning point if it in fact ends this way. And there's still 126, but the clock is ticking on Tom Egan. If I'm Beekman, I keep him here, Scott.
Yeah, you're not doing a bad job. You're working. You're not getting stood up. You're scoring lightly.
You're not getting what you want out of it, but at least you're keeping him from doing
now
anything.
Harley's really starting to pound. Tommy lost wrist control and really was able to let some punches go.
And this will go a long way in the scoring if they do survive this final minute. Now 45 seconds to go in the third and final round.
Right. And you can see what's going on here. Again, Tommy goes back to decent wrist control. I'd like to see Tommy throw some short elbows off his back.
He's got to do something to get out of this position.
He's got to get up. He's got 30 seconds and he needs to get up. He needs to get up.
It looks like it may be a tough finish for Tom Egan. Harley Beekman exerting tremendous force in this third and final round. All stemming from that takedown.
Right.
Like a slam.
Now Tommy's working his way up, but he gave up his neck in the process.
10 seconds, can he hold on?
That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. I don't see Tommy tapping. I think he'll go out first.
I'm sure he heard that 10-second warning, and he will hold on. As tough as that is, the bell does ring, and that's going to do it for the third round. And you can see Tom Egan looking frustrated as he walks back to his corner. And that third round, that big scoop slam at the beginning,
absolutely.
And then the subsequent, if you want to call it ground and pound by Harley Beekman, or at least his attempt to ground and pound.
The last 30 seconds of that fight was legit ground and pound.
Here's the takedown, Scott. He basically picks Egan up. It's one of the best takedowns we've seen all night, really.
Follows it up with a couple of right hands.
And look at the clock. That's 4:40 to go in the fight.
30 seconds into the first round.
He spent the rest of that 4:40 on his back, did Tom Egan. And again, Scott, it just goes back to Tom Egan not being able to do enough while on his back. That's the unfortunate thing for him.
He needed to get up. He definitely needed to work to the best of his ability to get up. to get up. And when you're stuck in that corner, Harley did a great job of pinning him against the fence. And by pinning him against the fence, it leaves you no out. So that's all you had to do is keep that pressure, keep that constant pressure, keep his hands going, be busy enough for a ref not to stand him up, and he did it.
Now, if you're Tom Egan in that position, you're on your back, you can't do much, you've got good wrist control, what else can you do to try to get up and change the fight?
You try to attack the sweeps like he was doing. You try to maybe throw some short elbows to create some space. You try to do anything to get up. Yell fire.
Well, it may not have been enough for Tom Egan. We'll see when we go to the scorecards how it looks. I have it 2 rounds to 1 BEEKMAN. It's a very close score. Could go either way.
I'd have to agree with that.
It depends on how those first 2 rounds were scored. But a great job by Harley BEEKMAN again with the takedowns. He did just a tremendous job picking him up, just really showing his pure strength. And it's funny, it's ironic because he was tossed around like a rag doll almost against Brennan Ward. And perhaps maybe he gets that frustration out tonight.
He looked good tonight for sure.
And it would be a big bounce-back win for Harley BEEKMAN if he's able to win it on the cards. But again, it's very unpredictable, and you never know how it's going to be scored until they actually announce it. So with that said, let's hear it from our cage-side announcer, Rick Provost, with the official scorecard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision. Judge Sanidad scores about 30-27. Judge Lima scores about 30-27. Judge Torelli scores the bout 30-27. And your winner, by unanimous decision, Harley Darkheart BEEKMAN. BEEKMAN.
Harley, congratulations on a really tough fight. You guys really went at it. Was your game plan tonight to try to negate his striking and stay close? Because it looks like you started off really working to push him to the cage.
Pretty much I wanted to stand with him, see what he had, and he's a hell of a striker. So, you know, you gotta, sometimes game plans don't work out, so you gotta go with the second option.
Correct, absolutely, and you did a great job with that. Was there any time, did you feel like, man, my game plan isn't working, I gotta go to my third or my fourth option?
No. Just 1 and 2, 1 and 2. One's not working, go to 2. If 2's not working, go back to 1. Let's see what happens.
Well, you know you got a great corner, Matt Lee and all the guys up from the Bomb Squad. We love having you down here at CES. Congratulations on a great win. Ladies and gentlemen, Harley BEEKMAN.